Hello, Internet. If you like my videos, then you will really like Zakifire's YouTube channel. He does mod reviews and other various of other bully stuff. Click the annotation on the screen to check it out.
It has been a while since I did one of these videos, so I thought I'd review a different kind of mod. This time we're gonna dive right into a custom mission for Bully, so keep in mind that I will spoil the mission in case you haven't played it yet. You have been warned. So let's pop a quarter in this bitch and see what we got. This mission starts out pretty simple. Jimmy walks up to Pete with zero context and is told by Pete that Algernon wants to meet Jimmy. When Jimmy asks where Algernon is, Pete just runs off. Hold up, why would Pete tell Jimmy that in the first place if he couldn't tell Jimmy where Algernon is? Whatever, let's just overlook this flaw, and trust me, this mod has plenty of flaws. Pete runs off with super speed and Jimmy fails to keep up. I've actually tried plenty of things to stop Pete, for example, shoot him with a slingshot, which does absolutely nothing, so your only option is to chase after him. I don't mind this is actually a good way to prevent the mission from getting glitched. Once you fail to keep up with him, Jimmy mentions that he saw Gary by the gates. You walk up to him and Gary rambles on about how you must go on a spiritual journey in order to locate Algernon. Or Pete could have just told us, but that would have probably made this mission 8 minutes shorter, so the entire journey is pretty much just a filler. You meet up with Galloway because apparently alcohol makes you trip balls. I'm kinda beginning to doubt that Galloway's just an alcoholic. You wake up in the school basement and I shit you not, you have to fight a gang of Petes dressed up as bunnies. It's actually pretty fucking awesome. Once you've defeated all of them, Galloway approaches you and tells you that it was all just an illusion. So wait, how did we get to the school basement? Did Galloway just lead us here and drop us down in the hole and quickly run up again while we punch the air? I'm kinda lost. We take another sip of booze and this time it's revealed that Algernon is in the funhouse at the carnival. Galloway offers us his car, which, oh my god, is this convenient for a mission that would have lasted over half an hour if he hadn't given us such an insanely fast vehicle. We grab the car and head off to the carnival, meet up with Algernon, and he informs us that his dog has Ebola, which is why he needs the cure, hence the mission name, The Cure. Clever mod author is clever. We drive off to the school because Beatrice is the only one who can help us. She's standing outside of the dorm doing nothing. Isn't this kind of a pattern with every single other character in this mission? They're all just standing there, staring at nothing and talking to themselves if you enabled voices. I know that this is a minor flaw, but it kinda just makes it seem like they could have all been conveniently placed in one room together, just staring at nothing since they obviously weren't up to anything in the first place. Also, Algernon, if your dog has Ebola and Beatrice is the only one who can cure said dog, wouldn't you just talk to her? Why would you send Jimmy? We talk to Beatrice and she refuses to talk to us, because otherwise we wouldn't have this epic scene where we have to use our wits in order to outsmart another character and convince them to see things from a different perspective that would later in the storyline have a drastic change. Oh wait, we just have to punch her.
Take that!
Beatrice tells us that Hawtrick has got her lab notes and is at a party, so we take our car, drive off, kill Pete and have a nice cold pint and wait for all of this to blow over. Bill, who for some reason is guarding the gates at the party, refuses to let us in, so we outsmart him by who am I kidding, we just beat him up. The gates for some reason open when Bill is knocked out. The blue marker near them gave me the impression that beating him up was optional and that Jimmy would have the ability to open the gates regardless, which makes this opening sequence kinda pointless. Oh well, we enter and oh shit, is this the worst party ever. The AI when put in this specific building is terrible and will oftentimes just get stuck in walls, giving us a great advantage to beat him up. We eventually meet face to face with Hawtrick, who we have to fight, and wow, is this the worst boss in the history of gaming. You can literally just apologize to him, making him docile for a few seconds, allowing you to punch him. Does he just forget that we physically assaulted all of his guests, broke into his house and are now physically assaulting him? I guess Jimmy's really good at apologizing. English class must have really paid off, huh? We beat up Hawtrick and travel back to the school where we hand Beatrice the lab note. She gives us the cure and we head off to meet Algernon outside of the library. It's not really explained why he's at the library, he kind of just is. I guess studying is serious business, even though your beloved pet is dying by a disease that pretty much just shreds you from the inside out. We give Algernon the cure and he feeds it to his dog. The dog gets wrecked and Algernon is now a more powerful boss than Hattrick ever was. We defeat Algernon and Ernest tries to avenge him without actually doing any damage. Epic win is epic. We head back to Beatrice and question her about the cure, as she tells us that she wants to eradicate everyone who has Ebola, therefore saving the people who don't from actually getting it. Okay, let's just go through the flaws here. Number 1, even if you killed everyone who has Ebola, why would you need a specific ingredient to do so? There are plenty of things that are poisonous that could kill a human being. Why not just give the patient cyanide pills? Roll your thumbs and wait for them to bite the dust. Number 2, why would you have one set of lab notes for all of the ingredients? Usually when you're working on the supposed solution for a worldwide disease that can eradicate the human species, you tend to be kind of thorough on getting the right notes and writing down each step. Number 3, why would you do this? At one point or another, scientists would figure out the cure for Ebola on their own, or if every single patient who has it would just die without a cure. So all you really have to do is wait for the actual scientists to figure something out or not. You're a student, you have zero influence on this planet. Anyway, she fights us and it takes forever. For some reason the wanted level isn't disabled, so Prefix will try to bust you. Just jump on top of your car and fire at her with your spud gun, slingshot, or whatever until her health depletes. And you win. The end. Now this mission isn't bad by any stretch. I think the technical parts were very well executed and the boss has thought most of it through, but the overall story is weak. Meeting up with one character who tells you to meet up with another, who tells you to meet up with another, who tells you that you actually have to do something can get really tedious after a while. This mission is very different from the rest of the game, so I can see the overall humor that the boss has hinted at in the past with mods like Fight Clubs. I usually really enjoy his tongue-in-cheek humor and wacky ideas, but this is by far the weakest thing he has ever put out to this day. Now, I'm not saying that this is bad, which it really isn't. It's creative, wacky, and interesting. It also breaks the fourth wall on some occasions, which I really like, but the actual objectives are pretty fucking boring. I give this mod a 4 out of 10. It's funny, creative, well made, but the objectives are too dull and boring, and the bosses are, well, boring as well. There are tons of fillers that if you took them out, the mission would have been very, very short. It's also full of a lot of plot holes, so the actual story is just something you shouldn't think about. Fun fact, this mission is actually open source, so if you want to dive right into the original code and see what he did to make this mission happen in the first place, you can easily do so. I hope that you enjoyed this review and I didn't put you off from actually playing it. It's worth downloading and it isn't really that bad. If you look away from the storyline and just see it as a funny, wacky, nonsensical, go here, do this obscure task sort of thing, then this is right up your alley. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Also, if you want to support what I do, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment telling me what you think, and check out my Patreon by clicking the link on the screen. Have a good day!